The tragic fall of Queen Jezebel. Shocking secrets revealed by two powerful angels. Few knew what truly happened that fateful night in the dark heart of the ancient city of Jezreel. Shadows danced along the stone walls, whispering tales of betrayal and vengeance. The air was thick with the scent of incense and the lingering fear of wrath from a god long ignored. Jezebel, the famed queen, known for her beauty and cunning, sat on her throne, her heart racing. She knew danger was coming. On that night, the stars seemed to tremble in the sky, as if the universe held its breath in anticipation. Voices echoed in the corridors, a cacophony of fear and treachery, as the queen plotted her next move. She had always wielded power like a weapon, her enemies crumbling before her icy glare. But now, whispers filled the air. Angels sent to deliver justice, or perhaps mercy. In her palace, the opulence was suffocating. Golden goblets reflected the dim light, but the familiar comfort turned cold. Jezebel's mind raced, tangled in a web of deceit. Was she being watched? Something was changing. The men who had once bowed to her authority now exchanged furtive glances, eyes darting towards the courtyard as if expecting an army of fate. The prophets had warned her. They had spoken of a reckoning that would come, a judgment that would shake the very foundations of her rule. What if it was not just her enemies who sought her downfall? What if the divine had turned its face away? With each passing hour, the air grew heavier, thick with the anticipation of a fateful confrontation. Suddenly, a sharp gasp echoed through the dark halls. The angels were there. Two brilliant figures, cloaked in shimmering light, emerged from the shadows. Their presence enveloped her, hovering with an authority that defied nature. One angel's fiery eyes pierced through her soul, demanding truth. The other whispered secrets that sent shivers down her spine. Would she be judged? Or would she find a way to twist fate to her will once again? A deep tremor ran through her chest. Jezebel felt the weight of her actions, the lives lost, the idols worshipped. Would her legacy be one of strength, or would it be drowned in the tides of time? As the angels hovered closer, she realized the choice was hers. But could she escape the consequences of a life built on betrayal? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. In the stillness that followed, the air around Jezebel crackled with intensity. The first angel, his radiant wings casting a warm yet unnerving light, spoke in a voice that echoed like thunder through her heart. O Queen of Jezreel, the time has come to unearth the depths of your soul. The choices you have made are like shadows cast upon the land, and they beckon for justice. Jezebel felt the ground beneath her tremble, not from fear, but from the weight of her own defiance. In the dark recesses of her mind, fragments of her past began to surface: her mother's teachings, the tantalizing whispers of power, and the fiery resolve that had once ignited her spirit toward dominance. Justice, she muttered, the word tasting foreign on her lips. What do you know of my justice? The second angel, solemn and wise, stepped forward. His gaze bore into her, filled with understanding yet devoid of pity. There is a law higher than you, Queen, one that does not bend to the whims of power. It is when the heart turns to stone that it forgets grace. His words, soft yet piercing, stirred something within her, a flicker of doubt amid her steadfast resolve. Jezebel's mind raced as she thought of the prophets she had silenced. Yes, they spoke of Baal and Asherah, but they also urged the people to turn from wickedness. Memories clawed at her consciousness, faint echoes of pleas for redemption that she had snuffed out with iron-fisted cruelty. Was it too late to change the narrative she had woven? Mercy, she said, desperate for clarity. What is it in a world that craves retribution? The first angel's voice softened, resonating with a gentle authority. Mercy is the possibility of transformation, but it comes at a price. It demands not merely sorrow for sins, but a commitment to change. Look into your heart, Jezebel, and discern what lies there. Are you ready to forsake the idols you've made? As she grappled with her own reflection, bitterness began to blend with remorse. Could she truly part with the very essence of her power? To the world, she was a queen forged in the fires of vengeance. But could her heart find a path to humility and reconciliation? The breadth of her legacy stretched out before her like a vast horizon, filled with both potential for greatness and the abyss of despair. Time is fleeting, the second angel declared, urgency thickening the still air. You must decide before the dawn, for shadows cannot persist in the light. What use is your crown if it is but a burden of bloodshed? Jezebel's throat constricted as she considered the myriad souls impacted by her reign, those who had suffered under her will, the innocence extinguished in her pursuit of dominance. A sudden weight crashed upon her, a realization that the throne she had perched upon was also her prison, built upon a foundation of lies and destruction. That a question rose unbidden, a seed of reflection planted deep in her heart. Am I worthy of another chance? As the dawn approached and the world remained silent, the angels awaited her answer, their luminescent forms bathed in the soft light of a new day. Would she choose to embrace the unknown, to dismantle her fortress of pride? The shadows loomed like a dark storm cloud on the horizon, each moment of hesitation pulling her closer to the storm of judgment that awaited her in the depths of her turmoil. As the sun began to tease the edges of the sky, one final thought emerged like a spark in the dark. Can a heart so hardened ever find a way back to light? The dawn broke slowly over the land of Jezreel, its tender rays creeping upon the horizon as if uncertain how to greet the tumultuous heart of its queen. The angels, with their radiant presence, stood unwavering, shadows cast in brilliant light as they awaited the kingdom's reckoning. Jezebel, caught in the web of her memories and desires, felt the pull of her past tightening around her like a serpent coiling, ready to strike. The scents of incense from the altars she had built, the sounds of chants dedicated to Baal, now wove together like a dirge echoing through her soul. She recalled the joyous celebrations, the power that surged through her with each triumph over those she deemed weak. But now, the sweet taste of victory felt bitter, as if it had conspired against her, unmasking the truths she had long buried. "What do I know of mercy?" she whispered into the stillness, her voice barely breaking the quiet as the weight of her surrender loomed larger than her crown. The first angel stepped forward, his wings shimmering faintly as he replied, "You learned of it when you received the cries of the helpless. Memories can be our greatest teachers, Queen. In your pursuit of power, you ignored the whispers of broken hearts. But there lies in memory the chance for rebirth. Rebirth, a word so foreign, wrapped in layers of delicacy and vulnerability." Jezebel hesitated to entertain the thought. Was it possible that even a heart woven with cruelty could find redemption? She battled with a rising storm within, grappling with the remnants of pride that clung stubbornly to her being. The second angel observed in silence, his expression calm, yet contemplative. "Consider the path you tread upon. Every choice you made was a step toward the abyss or toward the light. The dominion you sought is fleeting. A legacy built on suffering cannot endure. What will be your legacy? Will it guide your people toward life or drag them into the shadows?" As the sun's ascent painted the sky in hues of gold and rose, Jezebel's heart quickened. She pondered her actions, each decree, each execution, familiar narratives of strength twisted into tales of torment. In seeking control, she had become a prisoner of her own making, her rule a twisted reflection of her own fear. Anguishing over the souls she had silenced, a chill crept through her bones. "Can I eradicate the stains of my past?" She questioned the angels in a tone laden with desperation. "Is there a path forward to amend the horror I've contributed to, even if it means relinquishing all the power I hold dear?" As if anticipating her fears, the first angel replied with tender gravity, "The path of change is never without sacrifice. It requires that you confront the darkness that resides not just in your kingdom, but within yourself. Will you choose the uncertain path of transformation, or cling to the illusion of power that only serves to petrify your heart?" Jezebel's heart beat loudly within her chest, each thud echoing with the stories of lives touched by her reign, tales of betrayal, heartbreak, and despair. The thought of letting go sent shivers through her. To abandon her idols was to abandon the very dreams that had fueled her rise. The idols were my vision, she stammered, trying to gather the threads of her resolve. Without them, what would I stand for? What would I become? Without loyalty to your heart, you shall remain a hollow vessel, the second angel asserted gently, a hint of sympathy illuminating his words. Consider what legacy you wish to forge. What will feed the souls of your people? Power in isolation, or a moment of genuine connection that echoes through eternity? Jezebel felt the warmth of the sun enveloping her, yet the chill of her past weighed heavily upon her. Could she embrace a different narrative? Could she take the first step towards a future grounded in compassion rather than fear? As the sun rose ever higher, casting hopeful light across the land, a single, profound question hung in the air, challenging the very core of her being. Will I dare to step into the light, or will I remain the queen engulfed by the shadows I have created? The morning light stretched across Jezreel, touching the ground as if trying to awaken the dormant hopes of its people. Yet in the heart of the queen, uncertainty reigned. She stood between the echoes of her past and the whispers of a potential future, shaken by the weight of the angel's words. They hovered close, their presence both daunting and comforting, as if they were the very embodiment of the choices that lay before her. The first angel, whose eyes sparkled with an otherworldly wisdom, moved closer, kneeling upon the earth's surface. Let us reflect upon the journey you have taken thus far, Queen, he urged, his voice calm, yet probing. What truths have been woven into the fabric of your reign? Each decision was a stitch, creating a tapestry that tells your story. Jezebel hesitated, her breath caught in her throat. The tapestry was rife with intricate designs of power and authority, but woven into it were the fragile threads of sorrow and death. This tapestry, she confessed, her voice trembling, is heavy with regret. I wore my power like a cloak, but I never considered the weight it would impart upon my soul. The second angel nodded, his brow furrowed in contemplation. Each crown comes with its thorns, dear queen. In your quest for dominion, what have you extinguished within yourself? What light have you extinguished in others? Jezebel felt the sharp pang of truth every bit as palpable as physical pain. The memories of the priest's execution and the cries of mothers mourning lost children clawed at her consciousness. I broke the spirits of my subjects to cement my position, she murmured, the darkness of her actions closing in like a vice. But in doing so, I sacrificed my own spirit. There came a rustle in the wind, a gentle reminder of life's resilience. And what now? Once you are aware of this breach, the first angel pressed, his wings shimmering with quiet urgency as he beckoned her to look outward. Will you continue to build walls, or will your heart choose to mend? Jezebel's heart fluttered as possibilities danced in the sunlight. Mend? She echoed, the word foreign yet hauntingly beautiful. But how can I be a healer when I have inflicted wounds? How can I reclaim a purpose cloaked in sorrow? In every fruit lies the seed of its salvation, the second angel answered. From the ashes of despair can rise a spirit of hope. But the choice lies solely with you. To recognize that your journey to restoration is not defined by your past misdeeds, but rather by the courage you muster in this moment. Drawing a deep breath, Jezebel gazed at the horizon, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath her feet. A fierce longing began to emerge, a desire to break free from the cyclical patterns that had bound her. But facing the consequences, the pain of acknowledgement, she faltered, the fear of abandonment mingling with a flicker of hope in her heart. Indeed, confronting your truth will not be without struggle, the first angel answered reassuringly. But grasping the light means welcoming the shadows. It is through recognizing the full spectrum of your journey that true wisdom crystallizes. As the sun climbed ever higher, the light revealed paths once shrouded in darkness. She could see the village bustling below, unaware of the conflict raging within their queen. If I choose to rise from this darkness, if I embrace the very roots of my mistakes, what will become of my reign? How will my subjects receive a queen who seeks to acknowledge her faults? Perhaps they will see in you a reflection of their own struggles, the second angel observed thoughtfully. Ask yourself, what is it that they truly desire? A ruler who parades above them, or one who walks alongside them, sharing in their tribulations and victories? Jezebel's heart raced as newfound determination began to spark. Could it be? Can I lead my people with honesty rather than fear? Can we heal together? The thought was revolutionary, and yet it sent ripples of fear coursing through her as the light intensified and shadows retreated. Jezebel realized that the choice she faced now stood before her with greater clarity. The past had forged her, but it did not have to dictate her future. In that pivotal moment, a singular question resonated within her, echoing against the landscape of her heart. Will I choose to bear the weight of my past as a shackle, or will I transform it into a foundation upon which to build my people's hope? As the brilliance of dawn soaked the land, Jezebel stood at the edge of her palace, the weight of her future pressing down like the heat of the sun. The years of ambition, triumphs, and shadows danced before her eyes like specters taunting her with memories of choices made. Yet in this fragile moment, amidst the splendor of creation, the flicker of hope sparked within her a pulse of possibility that felt as overpowering as it was unsettling. She turned her gaze down the slope towards the village, where the people moved in their daily routines, oblivious to the turmoil within the heart of their queen. If they only knew, she thought, the ache of empathy swelling in her chest. What if they could see not only her crown but the burden it carried? Suddenly, she sensed something shift. The angels, now sentinels of her nascent resolve, were drawing closer, their attention unwavering. The first angel, with eyes reflecting the azure skies overhead, extended a hand toward the village. They, too, were burdens unseen, etched upon their hearts from the chaos of life. The crown is your burden, but their suffering is not without a connection to your own, he said gently. Do they suffer because of me? Jezebel asked, her voice a whisper entwined with both dread and newfound awareness. Can my past choices ripple outwards, enveloping their lives in despair? Indeed, the second angel replied, his wings whispering against the wind. A monarch does not merely govern through decree, but walks a path that shapes the very fabric of their people's lives. What can be mended for you must also bear the hope of restoration for them. Your healing can forge their pathways toward unity. Jezebel swallowed hard, wrestling with the enormity of accountability. But I am not merely a ruler. I am a woman tangled in a web of mistakes. How can I wield such power of transformation with hands so stained? Every act of redemption requires courage, the first angel implored, his voice stirring her resolve. You harbor the potential to become a beacon, yet that light must emerge from an authentic confrontation with your past. To do so will invite a rekindling of trust within your people. As she contemplated, the sun's light began to bypass her shadow. It painted a new vision, a hue of repentance intermingled with the exhilarating essence of forgiveness. If I embrace my faults and make amends, can it truly inspire my people to rise as I would rise? She pondered, a swell of courage gathering within her. Courage is a quiet flame, dear queen, spoke the second angel. It ignites often in the absence of certainty. When the soul dares to tread the delicate line between brokenness and healing, it finds strength from vulnerability. Your journey toward redemption can beckon them forth. For the first time, Jezebel imagined the outlines of her people, not merely as subjects to be commanded, but as souls to be cherished. In that moment, she envisioned unity born from shared struggle. Could she rally them together, transforming sorrow into a shared symphony of healing? Suddenly, the breath of life surged through her, an overwhelming urge to descend into the village and confront the hearts waiting for her recognition. Yet a pang of doubt emerged, a haunting whisper that perhaps her time had passed, that the chasm between her reign and their trust was insurmountable. Would they embrace a queen striving for redemption? She wondered aloud, searching for assurance in the angel's eyes. Or would they reject me, the one who betrayed their trust? The first angel studied her intently, his gaze imbued with compassion. What is the heart of your people? He asked, leaning closer. In every heart lies a yearning for understanding. If you allow your truth to emerge, it may echo back to them, inviting their hearts to seek forgiveness as well. As the sun rose higher, light broke through the clouds like divine promise, casting shadows away and revealing the vibrant landscapes of possibility that had always existed yet remained unnoticed. Jezebel felt her resolve thickening, but also a trepidation that echoed within. Could this act of vulnerability transform her, her reign, and the lives surrounding her. With the call of the angels urging her onward, she sought to quell her fear. Am I prepared? She asked herself, a question fraught with both hope and uncertainty. Can I return to my people, not as a distant queen, but as a sister emerging from darkness into light? In that heavy moment, a new question settled upon her heart, one tinged with both vulnerability and aspiration. What transformation awaits not just for myself, but for my people, if I choose to step forth and atone for the past I carry? As morning turned to midday, the warmth of the sun wrapped around Jezebel like a comforting embrace, yet the chill of uncertainty lingered in her heart. The path before her was unclear, winding through the tangled underbrush of her past and veering towards an unknown future. The angels, silent witnesses to her inner turmoil, stood by, their presence a mixture of warmth and weight. Each exhale drew her closer to a reckoning she had long avoided. Do you feel the air? The second angel inquired, as though sensing her trepidation. It is alive with the whispers of change, the pulse of those waiting, yearning for connection. Your people sense a shift, even if they cannot see it yet. They are, after all, attuned to the heart of their queen. Jezebel closed her eyes, imagining the faces of her subjects, their weariness, their struggles, their flickers of joy. For too long, she had ruled from an ivory tower, viewing them through a lens clouded by ambition and fear. They were not mere pawns in her game of power. They were threads woven into the very fabric of her identity. If she was to heal, they too would need to be part of that journey. As the sun filtered through the leaves, she asked, how do I approach them? Words often fall flat against the weight of actions past. How can I make them see my intent, and not just my history? Begin with honesty, the first angel urged, his wings glimmering as they caught the light of day. Speak not only of your failures, but also of the longing within you to be whole again. Vulnerability is a bridge. It opens paths to empathy. In acknowledging your missteps, you illuminate the possibilities for your people to do the same. A tremor of awareness passed through her, as each word resonated with the yearning she felt deep within. And what if my honesty disrupts the fragile peace? If I awaken their anger, their disappointment, will I not fracture what little trust remains? Stagnation breeds decay, the second angel replied, his tone steady and reassuring. Your people may need to confront both their pain and your past to emerge into a new understanding. By allowing the truth to surface, you create space for healing, transformation, a process that will take time but can unify if approached with compassion. Jezebel nodded slowly, each revelation stitching her resolve tighter. If the risk of honesty was worth the potential for redemption, then so be it. She inhaled deeply, letting the tension seep from her shoulders, and envisioned her descent into the village not as a queen elevated above her subjects, but as a woman among them, vulnerable yet empowered by truth. Am I equipped to lead them through such uncertainty? She pondered aloud. The shadows of my choices linger, and I dread the possibility of unveiling their pain alongside mine. Every leader bears burdens, dear queen, the first angel affirmed, his eyes fixed upon her. It is in navigating those dark waters that one finds the strength to illuminate others' paths. You are not alone in this journey. Each soul carries its trials, waiting for the moment to share and heal. You may inspire them to speak their truths as you speak yours. Jezebel contemplated the weight of this calling. Words could be balm, yet they could also cause wounds. The potential for growth rested upon her willingness to forge this connection, standing before her people as both a queen and a fellow traveler on the road of redemption. Suddenly, the village bells rang out, each toll echoing like a heartbeat through the air, coaxing her from her reverie. The people were gathering in the square, their curiosity piquing, heralding a moment she had long evaded. With the sound dancing in her ears, a sudden confidence began to swell. Can one moment of courage spark a resurgence of hope? She mused, her heart racing as she prepared to descend the palace steps. Will those I once overlooked see the sincerity of my heart, or will they only remember the weight of my crown and its burdens? As she stepped closer to the edge of the palace's influence, poised to look into the eyes of her people, a singular, trembling question emerged within her, filled with both trepidation and resolve. What if my journey toward healing beckons forth their own path? What restoration lies in store for us all? if I dare to embrace the unknown together? As Jezebel stood on the precipice of her decision, the air thickened with anticipation, every heartbeat reminding her of the weight of the moment. She descended the steps, each footfall firm yet cautious, reminding herself that vulnerability was not a sign of weakness but a testament to strength. The village square, bustling with life and skepticism, loomed ahead as she entered the square. Her subjects fell silent, their gazes a blend of curiosity and apprehension. They were the remnants of a once unified community, fragments scattered by tumultuous decisions and sweeping power. With a deep breath, she prepared to unveil her heart, allowing the messages of the angels to guide her tongue. "People of Israel," she began, her voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of vulnerability, "I stand before you, not merely as your queen, but as a woman who has wandered through her own darkness. I have made choices that cast shadows upon our lives." A ripple of whispers spread through the crowd, echoes of disbelief flitting across the faces before her. Men and women exchanged glances, children observed in wide-eyed silence, uncertain of the unfolding scene. Jezebel pressed on, her spirit emboldened by the divine presence born of those heavenly beings. "I have long sought power, seeking to fill a void within my soul," she continued, her gaze piercing through the veneer of indifference. "But in my ascent, I lost sight of you, my true kingdom, and in that loss, we all suffered. Today, I come not only to confess my errors, but to invite you to share in this journey of renewal. I yearn for restoration, not only for myself, but for us all." A murmur rose like a wave, washing over her words with a mixture of doubt and intrigue. Then, a woman from the back stepped forward, her features etched with hardship. "Queen Jezebel, you ask for honesty, yet many of us bear the scars of the trials you led us through. How can we trust again?" Jezebel's heart sank, the question resonating in the cradle of her conscience. "Your pain is my pain," she admitted, her voice softening. "I understand that trust takes time, and I do not expect it to be granted easily. But I am here to listen. I wish to know your hurts, your hopes, and together forge a path toward healing." A few in the crowd shifted uneasily, yet others dared to speak, their voices rising above the din. "The drought has ravaged our fields, and many starve while you lived lavishly in the palace," one elder protested, his eyes shimmering with sad resolve. Another cried, "What of the temple? You pledged devotion to our God, yet your ways have brought us desolation." Each accusation echoed in Jezebel's heart, and she felt the sting of her own choices. "You are right," she responded, humility coating each word. "I wielded my influence without the wisdom that attends true leadership. I sought to elevate myself, but it drove a wedge between us. I cannot mend the past, yet I stand ready to listen and learn." The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows that intertwined across the cobblestones, reflecting a multitude of emotions. The crowd began to murmur amongst themselves, their anger still simmering but tempered by curiosity, a flicker of hope igniting amidst the ashes of distrust. Amidst the gathering voices, Jezebel's eyes searched for the angelic touch she had felt moments before, the shimmering presence that seemed to blanket the crowd in a delicate haze of warmth. She felt them behind her, empowering her, urging her forth. What if the answers we seek lie not in the censure of one another, but in the unity of our stories? She asked, feeling the question rise like incense on the evening breeze. Together, we may unravel the pain of the past and weave a new tapestry of hope, uplifted not just by a leader, but by every soul willing to share their truth. As the sun's last rays dipped below the horizon, the villagers hesitated, warring between their anger and the budding sensation of possibility. Would they step into the unknown alongside her? Would they see that their healing could begin today, forged in the crucible of shared stories? A silence fell, thick and expectant, as the question lingered in the air: had she opened a door to healing, or had she merely laid bare the distance they all needed to traverse? In that uncertainty, Jezebel was left with one pressing, unresolved thought. What will it take for us to dare to dream of a restored tapestry, despite the frayed edges of our present? As the last light of day surrendered to the encroaching night, a hush swept across the square, amplifying the collective heartbeat of the gathered people. Jezebel, standing amidst the crumbling facade of her once dominant reign, felt the weight of countless eyes, their hope and fear mingling in a heavy mist that hung between them. The breeze carried with it whispers of the past, intertwining with the sense of lost ambition and suppressed dreams. The night's stillness felt paradoxical to her inside. A tempest stirred. What would she say next, and would it bridge the lingering divide? Slowly, she lifted her hands, palms open, a gesture of surrender and invitation. Let us not shy away from our truths. They weave our existence together, even in their starkness. I am not asking for your forgiveness. I am asking for your voices. From the edges of the crowd, hesitant yet determined, a young boy stepped forward, shivering visibly despite the warm evening air. His face, though innocent, wore the weight of an adult's grief. My family lost everything because of the drought, Your Majesty. We hunger not just for food, but for the promise of mercy. His gaze was sharp, seeking an unguarded moment in her eyes that charged stillness. Jezebel recognized the profound depth of his plea. It was the embodiment of their collective despair. The angels who had touched her spirit felt closer now, imbuing her with courage and clarity. And mercy we shall seek together, she vowed. Let us unearth the iniquities of our past and kindle a fire of compassion within our hearts. A ripple of discontent followed, but Jezebel stood resolute, allowing her vulnerability to challenge the fortress of defiance surrounding her. Voices continued to call out truth stories of suffering, each adding texture to the tapestry she hoped to weave anew. An elder recalled a time of harvest, driven by unity and mutual aid. A woman lamented the loss of her son to the despair ignited by their forsaken harvests. With each story, the air thickened with an amalgam of bitterness and cherished recollections, both wondrous and wretched. The people connected, not only with each other, but with the very essence of their humanity. As night enveloped the sky, stars began to twinkle overhead, shimmering points of light, becoming witnesses to this transformative moment. The crowd required a beacon. They looked to their queen, unearthing the remnants of trust that lay buried beneath layers of hardship. How can we foster that unity? Asked the woman from before, her skepticism now tempered by the vulnerability of her voice. What steps can be taken? Words can be empty without action. Each question that emerged was like stone thrown into a pond, creating ripples that danced outward. Jezebel understood that words alone would not bridge the vast chasm that had formed. It called for a tangible commitment and an unyielding grace. She nodded, feeling the gravity of the moment. Let us gather as one people, each tale a thread that binds us together. I propose a council, an assembly of both common folk and leaders where every story will matter. Together, we can explore ways to revitalize our fields and restore our community. We must not forget our shared heritage nor the power of collaboration. A flicker of hope stirred in the assembly as they could envision a future where each voice mattered. Yet another voice broke through the din. A young woman, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. But what if this council becomes another place of oppression? How can we ensure it remains a place of healing and not judgment? Jezebel's heart leaped at the thought of honesty woven into the fabric of this budding alliance. The question left her pensive, contemplating the essence of genuine leadership. Your concerns are valid, she replied, a quiet strength underlining her tone. If healing is to be real, we must invite dissent and raw honesty. I will not silence the voices that challenge us. An agreement brewed in the crowd, a tentative step toward unity, yet the shadows of mistrust hovered above them. The night deepened, enfolding their gathering in a solemn embrace as they shared visions of what could be. As fatigue weighed upon their bodies, a lingering thought clung to Jezebel. Though wounded, could they truly be open enough to construct a narrative of strength from their scars? Would they distinguish the weight of old grievances enough to cling to hope? The question hung thick in the air, echoing through the quiet night. What vision could they bring into reality if they dared to believe in a tomorrow beyond pain? As the pale light of dawn crept over the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the remnants of the night, the people of the gathering breathed deeply, drawing in the promise of a new day. Yet, uncertainty lingered, as palpable as the dew settling on the ground beneath their feet. Jezebel stood at the precipice of potential transformation, her thoughts clouded with the echoes of the night. both the hopes expressed and the fears that still simmered beneath the surface. The first rays of sunlight revealed the crowd, weary yet resolute, with remnants of last night's conversations hanging in the cool morning air. She felt the eyes of men and women alike searching for assurance, for a sign that their collective wishes would not fade as easily as the night. To honor their trust, she knew she must tread carefully upon this fragile path. "Friends," she began, her voice steady yet compassionate, "the dawn speaks of renewal, yet we must not overlook the bruises of our past. Let us unveil the truths that have persisted in shadows, binding us in silence. Come forward, share your burdens, and let us cast light upon them together." A tall man, his face etched with stories of hardship and loss, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we need more than words. We need to confront the forces that have stifled our fields, our spirits. The drought is but a reflection of our neglect. Our indifference to one another has sown discord among us." The crowd murmured in agreement, emboldened by their shared frustration. Jezebel nodded, acknowledging the call for action. "Indeed, it is the erosion of our bonds, both to each other and to the land, that has led us here. Let us not only speak of our struggles, but also of our responsibilities to mend what we have broken." One by one, they began to voice their concerns, sharing fragments of anguish that drew out the tangled heartache of their community. The families torn apart by famine, the children who went to bed hungry, and the elders who yearned for a return to forgotten solidarity. Each story unfurled like a petal, opening the essence of their shared pain, yet also revealing their undying capacity for compassion. As the morning sun climbed higher, casting warmth and clarity, a woman stepped forth, her hands trembling with both fear and resolve. "What if the counsel we seek only serves those already in power? What guarantee do we have that new wounds will not form instead of healing?" The silence that followed was heavy, like the weight of history pressing down upon them. Jezebel felt it keenly. This was a moment that could either pull them further apart or weave them into an unbreakable tapestry of hope. "Your voice is essential," she asserted, meeting the woman's gaze with fierce sincerity. "If we are to forge a new path, we must dismantle the very structures that have silenced you. Let us not replicate the systems of old. Let transparency be our shield, and compassion our guiding principle." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd, yet a solitary figure in the back remained unmoved. He folded his arms, observing skeptically, "You speak of ideals, Queen, yet how can we trust in your resolve? Your reign bore witness to division. What makes today different?" Jezebel felt the sting of his words as they pierced through her earnest intentions. "This I know," she replied, a surge of vulnerability unearthing the truth beneath her royal facade. "I have not been a perfect leader. Yet in this moment, I choose to be more than a title. I wish to be part of this community. The path to renewal must originate from our shared labor, from honest and unwavering accountability." As she spoke, a strange warmth enveloped her, akin to the comfort of an unseen embrace. It came to her, then, the quiet presence of the angels who had walked beside her, urging her to embrace authenticity. They had promised her strength, and it coursed through her veins like an awakening flame. "We must endeavor to stand together," she urged, not merely as subjects under a crown, but as a family forged in trials. "Every voice matters, and every story belongs in our council." The young boy from the previous evening took a step forward, emboldened by her pledge. "Then let us begin today. What steps will we take to ensure all families are fed, that fields are tended, and that laughter returns to our children's hearts?" The atmosphere shifted, a glimmer of hope entwined with trepidation. In this pivotal moment, leaders and commoners alike leaned in, recognizing they stood not with an authority over them, but with a voice that resonated among them. But in the gentle rustling of leaves above, a whisper seemed to beckon, holding secrets within its breath. Had they truly stepped onto a path of healing, or were they merely on the cusp of unveiling deeper wounds still hidden beneath the surface? As the sun climbed higher, illuminating their gathered council, a new question hung in the air, unanswered and potent. In their pursuit of unity, would they uncover the buried fears that threatened to divide them once more? In the final hour of that pivotal day, as the sun set on the horizon with a palette of glorious colors, the villagers stood together, united by their willingness to confront both the weight of their shared past and the flickering promise of a renewed future. Jezebel, now more a sister among her people than a distant queen, felt the magnitude of her journey reflected in the faces of those around her, each etched with the lines of resilience and longing. The square buzzed with collective energy, a symphony of whispers, hopes, and dreams woven together in silent anticipation. The moment felt electric, teetering on the precipice of profound transformation, waiting for the first brave soul to speak and unravel the bonds that had held them captive. With a quavering heart, Jezebel took a deep breath to gather her courage, for she understood now that this gathering was not merely a moment in time, but the beginning of a powerful resonance that could last through ages. Today, she proclaimed, her voice steady and brightened by the golden light of dusk, we stand on the threshold of rebuilding not just our fields, but our very souls. I invite you to share not only your grievances, but the seeds of hope that lie within you. What visions do you cherish for our kinship, our healing, and our legacy? As if answering her call, a small, soft voice broke through the crowd. A timid girl, her eyes wide with innocence yet filled with the weight of experiences beyond her years, stepped forward. But what if we fail again? What if your promises crumble as they did before? Jezebel knelt before the girl, meeting her gaze with utmost sincerity. In the face of uncertainty, courage is our beacon. Failure may visit us, but it only makes us wiser and stronger. Today is not about perfection. It is about forging a path together. A murmur swept through the assembly, the tension palpable as dissent battled with the burgeoning hope ignited by her words. Slowly, one by one, voices emerged sharing visions and truths. A farmer spoke of the land being tended to with care, not just for productivity, but for the love it harbored. A mother expressed her longing to foster gardens for children to play in rather than fields of fear. A once silent elder shared ancient wisdom, longing for unity where division had seeded bitterness. Each voice struck chords deep within the heart of the crowd, strengthening the tapestry of their communal identity. With every story shared, the angel's presence felt more palpable, an unseen force guiding and whispering encouragement among them. Jezebel felt their warmth cradle her spirit, nourishing her boldness to embrace what lay ahead. Together, she added, her voice rising with the fervor of renewed conviction, let us co-create our destiny rooted in vulnerability and shared strength. Let us rebuild our faith in each other and rise as guardians over the dreams of our children. No longer shall we honor broken crowns or stifled souls. Our legacy shall be one of love and trust. As the sun met the horizon, cascading its last rays over the village square, a wave of collective resolve surged from the crowd, unearthing aspirations long buried. Hands reached out, joining in solidarity, weaving an unbreakable bond that transcended power structures. They had begun to grasp the sacred truth. Transformation stems from shared light breaking through even the darkest shadows. With the moon rising high above, illuminating their newly formed council, they shared visions of restored fields and laughter rejuvenating the once desolate land. Each individual dream began stitching together the broader vision, a tapestry drenched in healing, humility, and hope. Jezebel looked upon her people, not as subjects beneath her rule, but as co-creators and allies in their shared journey. In that moment, the weight of her past dissolved into the evening breeze, replaced by an intoxicating sense of possibility, a vivid promise that echoed well beyond their gathering. The dawn of our new legacy will rise no matter the storms we've endured, she declared, her heart swelling with fervor. Let it be known, we shall cultivate not just fields, but the very essence of humanity that dwells within our hearts. As night fell, a collective hum of resolve enveloped them. With each shared dream, every act of courage laid bare, hearts gently touched, broken chains released, joyful tears mingled with their laughter. It was a celebration of restoration, a perpetual pledge to uplift each other through every trial that lay ahead. Thus, Queen Jezebel embraced her rebirth, recognizing the profound truth that witnessed her transformation. It became clear to her, true power lay not in dominion over others, but in the nurturing of souls, together, in their forsaken but never forgotten garden of hope. And so, as the stars brightened in the night sky, One shining truth seared into the cosmic tapestry of existence, a divine whisper carried on the winds of change, inviting all to listen. The light within every heart longs for the grace of redemption. In unity, even the heaviest burdens can be lifted, allowing love to bloom and thrive in the wake of darkness.